this thing started here. All right. Here we go.
Hey, I'm Brett. He, him.
Hola.
Hola. Yeah, that's cultural appropriation. That ain't it, Chief.
Really? Isn't Chief cultural appropriation too? And secondly, I'm from Cuba.
That's awesome. I love your sandwiches. You know, it is pretty sad that those Cubans don't really appreciate the great social programs they've got. Am I right, Chief? I mean, person, Cuba person.
Great social programs? What are you talking about?
Well, you know, like take healthcare, for instance.
Yes, we had healthcare, but it mostly consists of us rubbing dirt in our wounds. But my grandmother was able to build this pretty cool wheelchair out of an old washing machine.
You must be mistaken. I learned all about Cuba's excellent social programs in college.
Is that right? How long have you been in college?
Half a semester. So yeah, I'm pretty much an expert on socialism. In fact,
Hey,
I'm
Tammy.
inviting people to the meeting my group is having. Socialists
Welcome.
undermining capitalist knowledge.
Ay, ay, ay. Tell me what else you've learned in college about my country, Mr. Expert.
Bernie Sanders taught me that Cuba has great literacy programs.
Yeah, we used to have to write, I will obey Fidel Castro 100 times every morning.
Also, Bernie taught me that the poor rose up and they stole the means of production from the ugly rich people. That sounds amazing.
We didn't own anything with regards to production. But what we did have, we had a 20-year-old anemic donkey named Gus. I do miss Gus, but he was delicious.
Okay, by the way, how did you end up in this dystopian capitalist country anyway? We've got it really rough here.
Hey, did you order the orange mocha frappuccino?
Oh yeah, that's me.
Okay.
I hate when they look at you like they expect a tip. Anyway, yeah, how did you end up in this terrible place?
We escaped on a
Hey,
raft
Kirk.
made out of a mattress and inflated surgical gloves.
You mean to tell me that you came to America on purpose?
No, not on a porpoise, on a raft.
I don't understand how somebody could flee Cuban paradise and come to this oppressive, totalitarian hellscape.
I can tell you,
Hey, John.
we didn't have any of those in Cuba. That I can guarantee you.
What, you mean that in Cuba you guys only have like iPhone 12s? No, don't tell me. iPhone 11s? No, that can't be right.
You young people don't have any idea what socialism is like.
My ride's here. Yeah, Mom. Yes, I'll be there in a second. Gosh, I'm gonna be late to the Antifa protest.
Sadly true.
So, do you want to learn more about why North Korea isn't real socialism?
Yeah, my parents escaped North Korea after digging a 30-foot tunnel through frozen dirt with a pair of chopsticks. So,
Yeah, try to teach anyone who's actually been through real socialism.
To the demon-possessed people supporting the communist regime, this video is for you. Do you know who this person is? This is Ariel Sigler. Ariel was a political prisoner in Cuba. He was arrested in 2003, charged with treason, and sentenced to 25 years in prison. His crimes, you ask? For peacefully advocating for democracy in Cuba. He spent 7 years in prison where he was tortured, brutally beaten, and if you didn't realize, he's paralyzed. He didn't go into prison paralyzed. They paralyzed him. That's how bad they beat him and tortured him. The next time you want to hop on your safe platform where you have freedom of speech, the privilege of freedom of speech to defend these monsters over in Cuba, to defend the government, I implore you not to.
Hey, Colin.
Please don't. If you're not going to help, get out of the way. And a little side note, if they're so great, go to Cuba, go live there. Go and live in Cuba. And in your place, bring back a hardworking family from Cuba that would die to be over here and take your place.
How'd the date thing go? All right. Here's the amount of pressure being applied to the corrupt governors. Watch this.
And we wonder why our power bills are going up. Since Governor Pritzker became governor, Illinois has lost 6,000 megawatts of reliable 24-hour power.
I should say by the corrupt governors.
That's the equivalent of 3 nuclear power plants or enough power to
Same thing has happened here now in New York.
Power 1 million homes in this state. Gone. Under your guys' leadership, here we are. $8 billion in rate increases on the people of the state of Illinois. $8 billion. Who can afford to live here? You have a study on a bill that didn't exist when the study was done. Why? Because the bill wasn't filed till Tuesday. Who believes you? Nobody. Nobody in reality. They do believe their power bill because they get it every month. They do know when it's done every month, and you're taking the caps off. Katie, bar the door. Here they come. You want some more facts since we're dealing in facts? 2019, electricity was 8.6 cents per kilowatt. In the summer of this year, it was 23. That's triple. Under the leadership of Governor Pritzker and the supermajority Democrats in this state who keep telling us,
we're all just hoping for the best, Colin.
Oh, we're here to help, little guy. We care. We care about you, little guy. We're going to make sure your power bills go down. 2021 to 2025, you can see this nice little green line here. That's the rise and increase. Here's a great one. How do we compare to our neighbors? The average price in Illinois residential is 18.09 cents per kilowatt. In Kentucky, it's 13.4 cents per kilowatt. We're higher than Indiana. We're higher than Iowa. We're higher than Missouri. We were right there with Wisconsin, but after this passes, it'll be a trifecta. You'll have the whole deal.
Don't ever get sold on that price control, because that's when the government gets its hands in there, you know? The best way to have the cheaper electricity and everything is to have competition for it.
It will be the highest energy costs in the entire Midwest. Congratulations, Governor Pritzker and supermajority Democrats. $8 billion rate increase on the people of Illinois. Tell us you care. Tell us you care. This is exactly why nobody believes anybody anymore.
New York has lost 3 power plants. Nothing wrong with them. It's just that they regulated and taxed the hell out of them. They're leaving. They're going to give up billions of dollars worth of land and equipment because of how bad Hochul was trying to bilk them out of everything. It's unbelievable. You got to pay for this socialist state so all these illegals can get their free stuff. All right, here's IRS data from the red states. $39 billion gained. Watch this.
Newly released IRS data showing red states gained $39 billion in net income in 2023. So compare that to blue states. They lost $43 billion. Madison Allworth is live from New York City with more. And Madison, even I can do that math.
Yes.
They lost even more than regained.
Dana, you know, money moves. And new IRS data from 2023 shows where hardworking Americans are taking their hard-earned dollars. Overall, states that wound up voting for President Trump in 2024 saw that net income gain of $38.9 billion, while states that voted for former Vice President Kamala Harris lost $42.5 billion. Florida was by far the big winner with $20.6 billion in net gains, followed by Texas at $5.3, South Carolina with $4.1 billion. That is people leaving other states to move to these no-income or low-income tax states. At the bottom of the list, California lost $12.9 billion in net income, followed by New York, Illinois, and Massachusetts with losses of 10.5, 6.1, and 4.1 billion respectively. This is not just about the taxable income leaving. When families leave, so do their businesses, their jobs, and their recreational dollars. But rather than learning from past,
don't worry, they'll try to replace us with the illegals there.
Past mistakes, states that lost residents and their income are looking to increase taxes. Washington State, which lost over $549,000 in net income, just passed a millionaire's tax this month after being a no-income tax state. California eyeing a billionaire's tax, and New York is also looking at increasing taxes on the wealthy. Tax experts say money has never been more mobile with remote work and AI. And truly the perfect case study is Massachusetts. They passed a millionaire's tax that went into effect in 2023. That year, the state lost 41,000 residents.
You eventually run out of other people's money is what happens.
And they took with them $4.2 billion in adjusted gross income. Those in the highest tax bracket accounted for 70% of that money. The math doesn't lie, Dana.
No.
Yeah, and you go broke pretty damn quick.
So I'm hearing that Democrats are getting a little bit nervous that the redistricting referendum isn't going to go their way. And my question is, what did you think was going to happen when you ran on affordability, then gave yourselves a 300% raise, while you simultaneously attempted to increase our taxes 51 different ways? Lessons are hard.
Yep. This Florida officially pulls a trucker out of service because he was. Well, just watch.
Salida.
It's English.
Salida derecha. Can you say it in English what that means? What does it mean? How good is your English? Can you speak any English? No, don't speak no English. What does that mean? Yes. What does it mean? No. What does it mean when you go down and you see the sign? What does that mean? What do you have to do? Okay.
This one, Gregory should be here for the next one too.
Okay. If you don't speak enough English, be operating a commercial motor vehicle, okay? You also don't have enough knowledge of the signs to even say it, okay? So this, right now, you're going to be placed out of service, okay?
No, is that going to keep him from driving in other states, you know? Even though Florida does that? I don't know that it does or doesn't. I don't know. Watch this one. This is another illegal. Watch this guy.
I literally just had to pull this man out of his truck. Oh my God. Oh my God. Scared me to death. I called it.
Is everybody okay?
Yeah, he needs to. That's a lot of fuel.
Yeah.
And a big fire.
They got everything's en route.
Okay.
Yeah, I came up with that hill and you can't see.
Yeah, I just passed you.
Yeah.
Another illegal.
Holy crap. What happened? Could you not see?
Yeah.
The sun?
Yeah, the shadows are like I take my Google. But
just couldn't see.
Yeah.
I couldn't see either. It might blow up. You think we should get farther back?
Don't worry, some white libtard will probably protest to try to keep him in the country and driving.
I guess he knows what he's doing.
Not.
I'm glad you're okay. That scared me really bad. I don't understand how you did
good.
it.
You got to speak for a while.
Oh, you hit another truck. You hit somebody else. I didn't realize that. I couldn't figure out what happened.
Out with the chickens, huh?
This is wild. Oh my gosh.
You're lucky Moore didn't die from that.
No, but he's getting back in it. You get hit? I seen it happen. He couldn't see you because of the sun.
Alright, yeah, I'll be in touch.
Yeah, it's still a good number there, Kurt. I haven't seen Marianne in a little bit. I wouldn't be getting too close to that. That could blow up. You don't know what's in there besides the fuel.
Right there, I had my four ways on. I turned my brake on.
Look at how close that guy,
yeah,
the truck driver's standing to that.
And I put my four ways on, and I'm just sitting there going, and then I looked in my mirror and I see he was right there already. And I had No, not in the rack.
Well, he was just sitting in there and it was on fire. I opened the door. I'm like, get the fuck out. And then he just now went back in it. And I'm like, bro, look, he's going to again.
Yeah, he was sleeping. He's playing on his phone.
He's insane.
He said, I just looked at Google, is what he told me. But I'm CPR certified and stuff, so I was like, fuck, you know, at least that's wild. Wild. Good morning to me. I just got off work.
I believe
And
it was
he
in
can't hardly
Florida.
speak English.
I'm not sure.
Wonder what's in that. I didn't even ask him
That's
that.
reefer right there.
I mean, I wonder what's in the trailer.
It's definitely an illegal driver. That road's going to be closed for hours and hours.
I'll ask him. I ain't going over there to do it.
Oh, we still got some snow here, Kurt. We're not planting anything
Paige.
anytime soon.
Nice to meet you.
They plant like in June here. It's a short growing season, for sure. I don't know. To me, that's all scary. So let me run this one. I had this for the opener. This is Florida too.
So the state of Florida has just made history. Florida is set to become the first state in the nation requiring mandatory instruction on the history of communism in public schools starting in the 2026-2027 school year.
I say amen. Amen for that.
Students will learn about the horrors of communism and the destructiveness of Marxism, including atrocities under communist regimes, suppression of freedoms, and why these ideologies threaten liberty. I am so glad that Florida is doing this, and I hope that there are many, many states, hopefully eventually all of them, that follow suit. This is a massive win for all of the children in Florida, because now they're going to be taught the truth, not the fantasized ideologies that the left wants to push. So they'll know the truth and won't have this fantasized view that it will solve all of their problems, and it'll be so peaceful and everyone will be equal and they'll all have everything. Because that ain't the truth, and anyone with common sense knows that. Anybody who does research on it knows that. Apparently, the left doesn't do any of those things. All they want is to indoctrinate our kids into that nonsense to try to ruin this country because they hate America.
That is the game plan. The game plan is to take down America so they can get socialism. They're desperate not to work, I guess. They think that everything will be free and somehow it just grows on trees or something. Grows on the money tree, I guess. I don't know. Conspiracy.
So I found out who actually owns BlackRock, but there's something really weird about it. Because by now we know that BlackRock is in the top 3 shareholders of basically every corporation in America and beyond. And they do this using our money in things like retirement accounts, pension funds, IRAs, exchange traded funds, mutual funds. But most people don't actually know who owns and controls BlackRock. We all know that it was founded by Larry Fink, and he's the face of the company, but he does not control it. When you try to find out who does control it, you'll usually find this list, which is the top institutional shareholders. Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street are right at the top, just like every other company. But this is not the whole story. Because if you dig deep enough, you'll find out that actually Merrill Lynch owns 45% of BlackRock. And they're considered an insider, so they don't show up on the top institutional holders list. This merger took place in 2006. So actually Merrill Lynch controls BlackRock in a big way. But who controls Merrill Lynch? Well, Merrill Lynch is actually a division of Bank of America because Bank of America bought them out during the 2008 financial collapse. So who owns Bank of America? Well, nowadays, Warren Buffett is the top shareholder of Bank of America because he owns Berkshire Hathaway, which is his billionaire investment firm. I'm still not sure what this top one is, this 25%. That's an anomaly, and I cannot corroborate what those shares are, but I found these shares. This is a screenshot from Berkshire Hathaway's 13F where they tell you all the things they hold. And I totaled up all of these Bank of America shares, and it equals 1,032,000,000 shares. That's 13% of Bank of America shares, equal to $33 billion. But I also dug in a little bit into where Bank of America came from and who founded them. And all modern banks are crazy histories of mergers and acquisitions and banks changing their names and merging with other banks, probably for no particular reason. But Bank of America traces its roots back in two different directions, one of which we're not going to talk about. And the other one is back to this Italian dude named Amadeo Giannini, who acquired what was then called Banca d'America d'Italia. Sorry for that accent. Over the years, it changed its name to Bank America, and then in the biggest merger in history, merged with Charlotte-based Nation Bank in 1998. So I just thought it was interesting that half of the lineage of Bank of America was founded by this Italian dude that got really into Italian banking back in the early 1900s, when like there was a certain Italian organization that was doing a lot of things with money back then. I'm sure it was all above board though. Obviously. But anyways, back to the weird thing that I can't figure out. Bank of America owns Merrill Lynch, who owns the vast majority of BlackRock. But they don't have anyone on the board as far as I can tell. Usually, the biggest shareholders of a company have representatives on the board that sort of represent their investment. But I've just shown you the whole board of directors of BlackRock, and none of them have any real ties to Merrill Lynch or Bank of America, which seems pretty weird when you own almost half the company to not have any board members. The plot thickens. So two things. If you want to follow the history of Bank of America down the other trail, you might wind up at a certain family name that you aren't aware of that is really hard to find on the internet. That'll probably get videos taken down. Total conspiracy theories. And the other thing is, if anyone knows more than me or is literate in this or has info about why Merrill Lynch and Bank of America have no representatives on the board of BlackRock, I would love to know. After all, why would you own half of a company and then have no say in what that company's doing? Or how do they have a say? What's the story here?
Okay. Here's a bunch of liberals crying about arresting the illegals. It turns out, I guess, the one had a deport order in place. Plus, they were bringing drugs into the country at the airport, I guess it was.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's just a little boy.
He was trafficking drugs, and he already had a deport order in place.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
Dear leftists, you were wrong about the wage gap, you were wrong about BLM, you were wrong about this kid and this woman. You were wrong about Trump, you were wrong about Maduro, you were wrong about Palestine, Islam, and the Ayatollah. You were wrong about biology, you were wrong about gender, you were wrong about the Canadian truckers, and you were wrong about the border. You were wrong about DEI, you were wrong about CRT, you were wrong about Charlie Kirk, you were wrong about competency. For such educated people, you're wrong about a lot. And yet nothing stops you from having this unearned confidence that somehow you're going to be right in the future. Maybe this is why nobody trusts you anymore. Maybe. You free your mind by using your brain. Peace!
Yep. So, all right, let's hop on to this one. Place dying love in the hospice. Over 100 survived.
In Los Angeles, there's more hospice companies than the entire nation combined. They're mainly operated by Russian mobsters, and they claim to be taking care of people who are dying and charging the federal government in their homes. So it's home care. So they're providing nurses to somebody who is dying in their own home, and it's all fraudulent. You know what the mortality rate is for these Russian hospices in Los Angeles? They have a 100% survival rate. Nobody ever dies. So they're in a hospice. They're just billed eternally. And the people don't actually exist. They're just patient IDs that they've stolen.
Don't worry, we're paying for it with our tax dollars for sure.
I will put you in handcuffs, and I will put you.
Yeah, this is a mayor that's threatening to put all the ICE agents in handcuffs who are working at the airports now.
I will put you in handcuffs, and I will put you in a courtroom, and if necessary, I will put you in a jail cell. If you decide to make the terrazzo floor of this airport anything like what you did in the streets of Minneapolis, which involved the criminal homicide of unarmed, innocent people. We are not having that here. But let me go back.
A little bit, Charles.
To all
I got a little bit.
ICE agents.
I was saving it for a little bit later.
Who are going to keep their oath, who are going to follow the law and uphold the Constitution of the United States. Thank you for keeping your oath.
Hey, Mark.
To any agent who might think about doing it an illegal way.
Hey, Paula.
I'll be seeing you in court. And you're not going to like it.
Oh, he's a Alex Soros person, huh? That's who it is? It doesn't surprise me. So he's threatening to jail any ICE agents that do their job, basically. That's what he's threatening. I don't know.
Everyone in the room, how many of you are normal Muslims? You're not extremists, you're not radical, just normal Sunni Muslims. Please raise your hands. Everybody, mashallah, subhanallah. Okay, take down your hands again. How many of you agree that the punishments described in the Quran and the Sunnah, whether it is death, whether it is stoning for adultery, whatever it is, if it is from Allah and His Messenger, that is the best punishment ever possible for humankind. And that is what we should.
He just said stoning. Watch how many people raise their hands.
Apply in the world. Who agrees with that? Allahu Akbar. Are you all radical extremists? SubhanAllah. So all of you are saying that you are.
No, this is Norway. Norway.
Common Muslims. You all go to the different masajids Norway. Or is it, are you like a specific sect, like the Islam net sect or anything like that? Are you like that? No. Is it? Are you like that? Please raise your hand if you like this extreme Islam net sect or anything like that. No one. Allahu Akbar. How many of you just go to these normal masajids in Norway, the normal Sunni mosques? Please raise your hands. Allahu Akbar. So what's the politicians gonna say now? What's the media gonna say now? That we're all extremists? We're all radicals? We need to deport all of us from this country?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. Takbir!
Coming to America. That's Norway already. I don't know. What's that?
I don't understand how you can vote.
What's a Democrat going to say after this? Any Democrat going to say after this?
I don't understand how you can vote Democrat anymore. I genuinely don't. These 4 Colorado Democrats, again, for the 3rd year in a row, just voted against protections against child rape. They killed the bill. 3rd year in a row. Those 4 Democrats are Mike Weissman, Katie Wallace, Adrian Benavidez, and Nick Hendrickson. They struck a bill. They killed a bill that would.
Kirk, there might be. I did see on Benny Johnson today. He was doing a show. I forgot who was the guy from Project Veritas. He said a lot of that stuff right now they're using to work up the chain right now. That they are in there. He's been talking to them. They're in there. They've gotten the lower level people, but they're not prosecuting him yet because they're trying to work up the chain. So that's going to happen on the ones funding the money for all that illegal voting and all that stuff.
Protect children against rape. You know why? What was in this bill? Do you know what was in this bill? I'm going to tell you.
Hey, Dan.
You see, under current Colorado sentencing guidelines, you can rape up to 3 children and only get probation. You heard that right. So the bill that these 4 Democrats right here just killed was going to take away a judge's ability to give rapists of children probation. Yeah, these 4 Democrats. So how any of you can vote Democrat anymore is incredibly beyond me.
Bacon, Charles. Yeah, I agree. So they're trying to move up the chain in terms of that other fraud stuff. Free snack. A la snack bar is what a lot of them say. I tell you that. So let me go with this one right now. Betty Johnson.
Could multiply what we found in Minnesota probably by
About the
10
fraud.
in California. That's how bad it is. And what we're hoping in this investigation is we have the same success we had in Minnesota with whistleblowers coming forward, reaching out to me or other oversight committee members to sit down and do transcribed interviews so that we can finally figure out who's responsible for this fraud. What we know in California, just with respect to hospice, of all the government entities, hospice is the one that I don't think there would be anyone out there that wouldn't have full support for hospice at our worst time of need. Hospice alone, $3.5 billion just in Los Angeles County. And what that amounts to, Sean, is the whole hospice budget for the United States last year, 18% of all the billing was in Los Angeles County. And that's not 18% of the population of America in that one county, and it's a big county. 18% of the entire billing for the United States. It is rampant in California, and Gavin Newsom knew it and hasn't done a thing about it.
I hope it doesn't come down to that, Kirk. But it might. I don't know. I'll skip that one for now. Senator Nancy lost her life. This is in all 50 states, this whole thing that's going on.
The states are taking children, giving them to somebody else.
Yeah, the child trafficking. Let me start it again.
The states are taking children, giving them to somebody else for money that they get from the federal government. That means that all 50 states are involved in government-subsidized child trafficking. It's a ring. It is the largest and most pervasive child trafficking ring in the history of the world by sheer money and numbers.
Children are seized unnecessarily from their families due to the federal aid entitled the Adoption and Safe Families Act.
It was put into law in 1997 by Bill and Hillary Clinton, and I said it that way on purpose. And
they've used that to steal children for sex, really.
It is a law that literally steals money from the Social Security Fund and gives this money to the states in order to incentivize them to kidnap babies.
To receive the adoption incentives or bonuses, local CPS must have more children. They must have more merchandise to sell.
Every child, once you've added it all up, is worth approximately $1 million to the state. But we've been told that this is a $60 to $80 billion a year industry, meaning the federal government is taking $80 billion a year and giving that money to all of the 50 states to kidnap children.
Parents are victimized by the system that makes a profit for holding children longer and bonuses for not returning children to their parents.
But their own statistics state that 83% of all children who are taken by CPS, Child Protective Services, are for unsubstantiated allegations, meaning never should it have happened in the first place. So that imagine anything else in the world where you know you get it wrong 83% of the time and you admit it, but you just keep doing it.
Case
you're
workers
right, Tammy.
And social workers are often guilty of fraud.
A percentage of one and all of them on the
and
other.
Destroy evidence.
Yeah, I agree, Tammy. It's a percentage of on the Rhino side there, and then all the left is totally gone. Other than maybe Fetterman, whatever his name is there. I don't know. Look kind of a little bit more on it. Democrats ransom list. That's what I live in the Senate.
Democrats have now voted 13 times to keep the government closed down. Here is a list of their demands, or at least a partial list of their demands. Let me get my glasses. Democrats want $200 billion taxpayer dollars in health benefits to return to illegals. They want Republicans to return billions of taxpayer dollars to wasteful programs to foreign countries. You know, those programs they were using, those BS programs that they were using through USAID to funnel the money that makes them rich? Allegedly. Yeah. Like shrimp on a treadmill. They want $500 million to go back to the left-leaning news organization that was found
like USAID
wasteful and taken away. They also want to cut $50 billion.
That's how they stay in power.
From the rural hospital.
So there's more than that in this whole TSA shutdown and all that. We cannot let them back in power.
Fund. You remember that rural hospital fund that if you look back at videos from the recent years, they told you that Republicans and Elon Musk had taken away
I'm a little older, more like
$50 billion
time.
From rural hospitals.
NPR?
They were fear-mongering. They were telling us that those mean old Republicans let Elon take the money away from the rural hospitals. But funny, now they want to take it back because Elon and the Republicans never took it away in the first place. Tried to tell you. But anyway, Chuck Schumer and Democrats know that their actions are causing great pain to the American people, but they don't give a damn. Schumer says several times that this is their leverage and they aren't letting it go. Screw the TSA, screw the disaster at airports, screw other government employees. They don't give a damn about you people. You're just the little people.
Run the NPR.
You're
the money,
they're using as leverage to try to.
That and Planned Parenthood money too, damn.
To get their way. And they're going to keep the government shut down as long as they possibly can. Why?
I like the Bee Gees too.
They can. And you guys are going to keep voting for it. Make it make sense.
Yeah, make it make sense. Not so much. All right, I'm gonna do one of the two main ones I was gonna do clips here. Now this is the reporter or the guy giving out the media to their stations in Iran, and you can only have government stations there. So supposedly the rest of the internet's cut off, and this is what they're telling their people there. So you won't believe what they're reporting. According to them, we've lost. All our troops are being captured. They've taken all of our ships and sunk them or captured them. You wouldn't believe this with the kind of crap that they're putting out there in the Iranian TV.
Like, this is sort of like a general caption, but let me just read the caption and then I'll play the video message and I'll translate it line by line. So apparently he's saying, considering that all American bases in the region have been destroyed.
This is Goldie. She's from Iran. She lives in Canada, and she was in the parliament at one time. She got kicked out for Islamophobic, and here she is from Iran.
American commanders and soldiers have fled and taken refuge in hideouts outside the bases, and we are searching for them. Pure delusion.
All the SNAP stuff and all the welfare things should be shut down and restarted. And one by one, you should be checked to get back on it.
Muslim Nazis occupying Iran are literally insane.
Hey, Miriam.
So let's just listen to this.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. با توجه به اینکه همه پایگاه‌های آمریکا در منطقه از بین رفته است، فرماندهان و سربازان آمریکا فرار و در مخفیگاه‌های خارج از پایگاه‌ها پناه گرفتند و ما به دنبال آنها می‌گردیم. از مردم کشورهای منطقه می‌خواهیم محل اختفای آنها را گزارش کنند و همزمان برای امنیت خود اخراج آمریکایی‌ها را از منطقه خواستار شوند. و من نصر الا من عند الله العزیز الحکیم. بسم الله الرحمن.
What? That is insane. Oh my gosh, Armin's gonna have a field day with this one. Okay, so I'll translate. So he starts out with like Arabic. He's like, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, which is like in the name of Allah or whatever.
Is everything okay, Mariam?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
That's Arabic. That's like in the name of Allah or whatever. And then he says,
با توجه به اینکه همه پایگاه‌های آمریکا در منطقه از بین رفته است.
He's like, considering that every single American base in the region has been destroyed.
So they're saying that they've destroyed every single American base in the Middle East.
And American commanders and soldiers have all run away.
Who was that guy during the Gulf War there? Baghdad Bob or something like that? This guy's just like him or worse.
And they're hiding in they're hiding in hideouts away from destroyed military bases. And we are currently searching for them. We are asking the people from the other countries in the region to report the locations of where they're hiding. And to secure their own safety. So he's basically threatening all the other countries in the Persian Gulf area. He's saying, in order to ensure your safety, you must kick them out of their hideouts and kick them out of your countries. And then he says some random Arabic thing. I don't know what he's saying. Probably like something from the Quran or something. So, guys, this is insane. This is insane. This is insane. Like, what is he saying? The war will not be won by Twix. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy that says the war will not be won by Twix. Oh my gosh. So guys, he's basically saying that he's saying that all the American bases have been destroyed. American commanders and soldiers are hiding in places outside of like the bases because the bases are destroyed. And then he's threatening all the other Persian Gulf countries in the area. And he's saying that if you guys don't, expel them from your countries, you're at risk. This is wild. Listen to this.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. با توجه به اینکه همه پایگاه‌های آمریکا در منطقه از بین رفته است، فرماندهان و سربازان آمریکا فرار و در مخفیگاه‌های خارج از پایگاه‌ها پناه گرفتند و ما به دنبال آنها.
I thought we could get a good laugh at the time when she recorded this earlier today. The other guy that's her friend there came back on the show and they were laughing their head off on this.
می‌گردیم. از مردم کشورهای منطقه می‌خواهیم محل اختفای آنها را گزارش کنند و همزمان برای امنیت
Dan, that's a pager. There was the pagers that were blowing up.
خود اخراج آمریکایی‌ها را از منطقه خواستار شوند و من نصر الا من عند الله العزیز الحکیم. بسم الله الرحمن.
Guys, this is worse than like Baghdad Bob. Like, what is this?
A Quran in Iran to the jail.
I don't even understand how he's saying this.
A tourist on fire. I hadn't seen that. Whoa. Doesn't surprise me, Marianne.
How? Like,
that's actually the 5% that actually believe it. There's about 5% that actually believe this crap in Iran. And the rest are all, different religions like Christianity and Persian, all that kind of stuff. Kurdish.
I don't know. Whatever drugs he's on, like, guys, don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad.
Actually, I thought this was funny. Drugs are bad.
Don't do drugs, kids. Like stay in school. Don't do drugs. Because right now he sounds crazier than the ice guy. He sounds crazier than the Yachman. Oh my gosh.
They're putting this out on their TVs though, but it's state-run TV, A lot of the people that know that in Iran know that this is all bull crap.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is him. This is him.
Thing.
A message to the President of the United States. The outcome of war cannot be determined by tweets. The result of a war is determined in the field, the very place where you and your forces do not dare to approach and you can only talk about it in your tweets. It's better to name this war as
they're making fun of his English.
Epic fear instead of epic fury.
Oh my gosh, such an embarrassment. Okay, some people are saying that this is AI. Wait, do you think this is AI?
Kirk.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. با توجه به اینکه همه پایگاه‌های آمریکا در منطقه از بین رفته است، فرماندهان و سربازان آمریکا فرار و در مخفیگاه‌های خارج از پایگاه‌ها پناه گرفتند و ما به دنبال آنها می‌گردیم. از مردم کشورهای منطقه می‌خواهیم محل اختفای آنها را گزارش کنند و همزمان برای امنیت خود اخراج آمریکایی‌ها را از منطقه خواستار شوند. و من نصر الا من عند الله العزیز الحکیم.
I don't think this is this is not AI.
Yeah, she determines that it isn't, you know. I think
this is how he always speaks. Look at this. This is from like March 19.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. مدافعان آسمان ایران در ارتش جمهوری اسلامی ایران و سپاه
The background including the flag, that's all green screen.
Oh yeah, this is about the boats he was saying.
پایگاه بالگردی العدیری را با انواع پهپادهای انهدامی و موشک‌های کروز در هم کوبید.
I guess they're claiming that they're sinking all these ships.
در این عملیات بسیار کلیدی، نقشه‌های شوم عملیاتی دشمن شکست خورده و شاهدان عینی و منابع آگاه.
Is anyone old enough to remember Baghdad Bob? Every day he was doing those press conferences from Baghdad.
خروج سراسیمه از این پایگاه را گزارش نمودند. در این تهاجم 11 هدف بسیار مهم از این پایگاه مورد اصابت چندین موشک و پهپاد قرار گرفت.
Okay, so let me translate. Let me just read the captions for people who are, driving and can't look at their screen here. So this is the news that's being played on Islamic Regime State TV. So the IRGC Public Relations announced that the IRGC Navy with today's support carried out an offensive operation against American terrorists, striking the Al Udeid helicopter base with various kamikaze drones and cruise missiles. In this highly critical operation, the enemy's sinister operational plans were defeated. By the enemy, they're referring to the United States. And eyewitnesses and informed sources have reported a panicked evacuation from the base.
It's funny. Did anyone see that in the news?
In this assault, 11 very important targets at this base, so at this American base, were hit by multiple missiles and drones.
You're watching Candace or Tucker Carlson.
There you go. So that's the propaganda.
Or CNN might report that.
I know the music in the background. It's like weird, communist North Korea style music, right? Okay, so guys, listen to this again now.
روابط عمومی سپاه اعلام کرد نیروی دریایی سپاه بامداد امروز پایگاه موشک‌های کروز نقشه‌های منابع آگاه مورد
So bizarre. But I mean, this is the insanity that we Iranians have been dealing with for the last 47 years, right? Like, not only are they vicious, not only do they, this is fake, like, it's so stupid.
I thought there was another.
Guys, do you understand how strange this conflict is? Where
maybe put us in control of the strait. Let's take a look at what's on its way. First off, you got two carriers that are coming our direction. You got the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit coming on this ship. About 2,500 Marines are coming, and then you have the USS Tripoli and 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, both coming from Japan. And look at what they contain.
Yeah,
they got Ospreys. They got armored.
Well, that was their Iranian TV. That's run by the government.
Vehicles, amphibious assault ships to get them onto shore. Now, where could they be heading? Well, if they're going to see some contact, it's going to be right here in the strait. And some of the key islands, you hear a lot about Karg Island, but there's also Kish Island and Hormuz Island
all contain various different, I guess.
Maybe John would know more about this kind of stuff.
Iranian units. And here's roughly what's in there and what the Iranians seem to have assembled. They got rocket launchers on these islands. They got some submarines there. They got to be destroyed, obviously. Unmanned surface vehicles, heavily armed speedboats. They got to be destroyed. They're the ones causing so much havoc and potential havoc that keeps the Strait of Hormuz pretty much closed. And this is essentially what Kitch Island would do if we had control of that, and what would put us in the catbird seat to be able to maybe reopen that strait once and for all and give us the leverage back in that area. And, of course, alleviate the glut of oil that just isn't going through. Yesterday, just 3 ships. We need about 100. Retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg joins us now. He served as former assistant to President Trump and special presidential envoy for Ukraine. General, how would you characterize where we're at right now? And what do you think that our Marines could do when they get into theater?
Yeah, Brian, it's good to be with you. You brought up some really great points there on ground forces. Look, I'm a big believer right now. We just need to secure the Strait of Hormuz. And you can do that with 2 amphibious ready groups, Marine ready groups that are headed in that way. They're a self-contained unit. They've got aviation assets. They've got helicopter assets. They've got 2,500 Marines on each one of the ARGs. And they can open up the straits out there and occupy that ground. Look, I'm a big believer in putting boots on the ground, not necessarily into Iran, but taking Karg Island and also taking the Strait of Hormuz. Look, we kind of need to do it the way the Romans used to.
And that takes their only lever they got on us is driving up the oil prices. That's the only lever they have on us, in my opinion. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm going to play this in a second. I got an intro to this, actually, in a way. Where did I put that? Right here, I think it was. Yeah. This is a celebration in Denmark. Conservative, nationalist parties won there, kind of big time. So here's a little bit of the Dr. Steve here.
Things happening in the Netherlands. This is a clash between Dutch citizens and Muslim rioters at a Christian festival, with police having to intervene. And that religious clash is increasing throughout the nation, with Muslims becoming more and more hostile to the symbols of European Christian civilization. These are recent scenes from, if you can believe it, Amsterdam University, in a clash between Muslim migrants and Dutch students. And there are signs that Muslim leaders inside the Netherlands are becoming more brazen.
Dit is Nederland inderdaad, het land waar de moslim de baas is. Snap je? En niet de Nederlander.
I think that was Kuwait.
Valt, dan ga je maar je land uit.
John, I think that was Kuwait.
En dan ga je maar naar Duitsland of zo. Snap je? Hier zijn wij de baas, de moslims.
We are the boss now. Muslim men are in charge, not the Dutch. And if you don't like it, then get out. So how are the Dutch responding? You are not going to believe this is going to absolutely blow you away. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, helping you make sense of the madness with breaking news and analysis you're not going to get anywhere else. So you know what to do. Make sure to 6 to 7% of the Dutch population, or roughly 1 million people, making Islam the second largest religion in the Netherlands after Christianity. The majority trace their origins to Morocco and Turkey, with substantial communities from Indonesia, Somalia, Syria, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Demographers project that under continued migration rates, the Muslim population could reach upwards of 20% of the Dutch population by 2050.
I guess that's against their religion, right?
That these projections are raising is whether Islam is compatible with Dutch and European values. Now, the key Islamic doctrine in question is called Hakimiyya, meaning sovereignty.
Yeah, they have like 3%, and they're trying to take over the country with 3%. They're going to, in no time at all, they're going to be at 20%. They will take over the country with 20%.
Or divine governance.
You get white liberals that'll vote with them.
It holds that God alone, Allah, is the ultimate sovereign over all human affairs, political, legal, social, and that no human ruler, legislature, or court may enact laws that contradict divine command. Sayyid Qutb, the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood ideologue, argued that contemporary Muslim majority societies...
Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas are the same thing. That's where Hamas came from, was Muslim Brotherhood.
Living under man-made law...
Thank you, Carter.
...had reverted to pre-Islamic ignorance, making resistance, including violent jihad, religiously obligatory. The classical Islamic concept is known more broadly as Sharia, the divine law that serves as the supreme legal authority over civil government, superseding any man-made legislation. Enter Geert Wilders, the leader of the Dutch Freedom Party. Wilders has been a passionate advocate for the Dutch government to crack down on the growing influence of Islam in the Netherlands, arguing that Islamism is completely and totally incompatible with Christian and European values. Wilders has been campaigning on closing the Netherlands' borders to asylum seekers from Islamic countries, dismantling foreign-funded mosques, and locking up or deporting violent individuals and religious extremists. And to the shock of liberal globalists around the world, the Dutch overwhelmingly agreed. On the night of November 22nd, 2020...
some of them, Pat, they might be going, but not end up doing anything. You know, they're there in case they need to be used.
The political establishment of Western Europe received a thunderclap it simply did not see coming.
I agree, Dan.
Geert Wilders walked out of the rubble of every elite prediction and won the largest block of votes in the Dutch.
And yet we got these people in power. Come on, bring them in. We'll give you free money. Keep bringing them in. Keep bringing them in. I've talked to many people on my channel before that all believe that they're trying to end Christianity, and they see this as a way of getting rid of Christianity, because they've done it in other countries, you know, like Lebanon and all that, were once a 90-some% Christian nation.
Parliament.
Now it's all
His
gone.
Party for Freedom, the PVV, surged from 17 seats to 37 seats in a single night, obliterating the centrist parties that had governed for a generation and leaving the continent's political class speechless. Now, keep in mind, this was the man that they had put on trial for hate speech back in 2016.
I think I have
the man foreign governments had banned from entry. The man whose security detail had shadowed him around the clock for 20 years after the murder of his friend, Pim Fortuyn, and the assassination of filmmaker Theo van Gogh. They had prosecuted him, mocked him, excluded him, and the Dutch people handed him the keys to the...
You notice, it's sort of like Trump. They tried to jail him and that kind of stuff. Same thing in France. They tried to jail him. They tried to do that in Japan. They tried to jail her. She ended up she's the leader now over there.
Parliament overwhelmingly. The liberal media called it a catastrophe. Brussels went pale. And across the European right, from Warsaw to Rome to Stockholm, a single realization rippled like a shockwave. If it could happen in the Netherlands, you know,
I don't know, the hogs eat almost anything.
Tolerant, progressive, bicycle riding, tulip growing Netherlands, it could happen anywhere. Wilders had not merely won an election. He had detonated a signal flare visible across the entire Western world, illuminating a rage that the establishment had spent years pretending did.
I'm seeing elections everywhere around the world are going Christian, or well, they're going nationalist. Nationalist, not necessarily Christian, but a lot of it is Christian. Nationalist, you know, the nationalism for their own country. They're trying to make them get rid of all these illegals that are coming into their countries, that these globalist World Economic Forum people are trying to bring in.
Didn't.
I put this in my ears, and I haven't asked anyone to repeat themselves in over 3 months. This is magic. I wish I
exist. We are indeed witnessing a historic turning.
The
president winning. Will you launch your... And I've seen their amazing AI and scores are trying now to help my CryptoIRA.com active family crypto. Now, through his influence, he leader in the Dutch parliament was turbulent and limited. Through his influence, he managed to get the more extreme Islamic...
The thing is, you got to try more than once when you stand up. You got to start somewhere and move up from there.
Political organization, the Muslim Brotherhood.
I'm hearing you might end up with 2 Republicans running for governor out there in California. That'd be a good thing. I kind of want them both to be the top 2, because if a Democrat gets the second of one of those 2, and the runoff is when they'll cheat and win, you know?
Banned from the Netherlands. But most importantly, he inspired populist leaders throughout the entire continent. There's a word that keeps surfacing in the political science literature. A word that's really reshaping how scholars understand the populist revolts convulsing the Western world.
You've really seen it.
And that word is civilizational. Not merely nationalist, not merely economic, civilizational. Now, Samuel Huntington, the great Harvard professor, warned decades ago that the fault lines of the 21st century would not be drawn between nations or ideologies, but rather between civilizations. And the deepest human loyalties, he argued, are not to flags or constitutions, but to the shared language, faith, memory, and moral imagination of a people across time. Civilization is the largest unit of human identity. And when it's threatened, something primal awakens. And that awakening is precisely what we're witnessing across Europe today. Because what the Brussels elite never anticipated, what the NGO class and the open borders consensus never modeled, is that millions of ordinary Europeans would eventually look at their transformed cities, their silenced churches, their policed speech, and their daughters afraid to walk alone at night, and conclude that something...
America's got plenty of oil. It's the world market that's gone way up, David. I'm not sure what you're saying.
Something sacred was being deliberately dismantled.
Welcome, by the way.
And they would be right.
Think about the
globalist project required a specific ingredient to function: cheap, compliant, imported labor. An endless reservoir of workers who would accept wages that no native European would tolerate. Maximizing the profit margins of multinationals.
I understand now, David. It took me a minute to understand.
Whose lobbying dollars then funded the very politicians keeping the borders open.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a closed loop of corruption.
Actually, there's no oil shortage. Is what it is getting it to the right places, and so it drives it up on the world market. There's hundreds of ships sitting there waiting to take it out of there.
Dressed up as compassion. And when ordinary citizens dared to name it, dared to say this is not diversity.
Soon it will be remedied.
They were immediately branded racist, xenophobic, far-right extremists, Nazis. The slurs came like clockwork, from Keir Starmer's Britain to the editorial boards of every legacy newspaper on the continent. But here's what the elites fatally miscalculated. That slander only accelerated the revolt. Because when a man is called a racist for wanting his daughter to be safe, he doesn't become more liberal. He becomes more determined. And when a woman is told her concern for her neighborhood is bigotry, she doesn't go.
Actually, from what I'm hearing, Dan, about the shutdown on China, they're getting a lot of it now through Russia somehow. And Russia's making big bank right now. So somehow they're getting it to them from Russia to China. But it's taking a lot more transportation to get it to them, trains and all that.
So quiet. She goes to the ballot box. And so a remarkable thing is happening. Something the secular consensus declared impossible literally just a generation ago. Christianity is returning to the public square of Europe, not as nostalgia, not as a museum piece, but as a political force, as the civilizational grammar through which a growing number of Europeans are articulating their resistance. Geert Wilders in the Netherlands, Jimmie Åkesson in Sweden, Giorgia Meloni in Italy, Marine Le Pen in France, Viktor Orban in Hungary, who's made Christian democracy not a slogan, but a governing philosophy. Karol Nawrocki in Poland, carrying forward a tradition that never forgot what it cost to defend Western civilization against foreign conquest. These leaders are not simply anti-immigration politicians.
He didn't mention the one from Japan. He's a nationalist. She doesn't care if you got citizenship. If you're Muslim and you came in within the last whatever years, I don't know, 5 or 10 years, you're getting booted.
They are making a deeper argument that Europe's freedoms, its rule of law, its protection of women, its freedom of conscience, its democratic self-governance did not emerge from a vacuum. They were built on a specific civilizational foundation, and that foundation has a name.
Okay, Dan.
Italy has shown what resolve looks like in practice. Public space is governed by national law, cultural symbols protected, women shielded from legal.
I'm sure, Dan, that they're not getting as much oil as they normally would.
Systems that do not recognize their dignity, civic unity treated not as an aspiration, but as a non-negotiable condition of residence.
Yeah,
the message radiating outward from Rome in particular is not one of hatred, it's one of clarity. For Americans, this is not a distant drama, it's a preview. The same debates over assimilation and public expression and civilizational coherence and the weaponization of elite institutions against ordinary citizens, they're already here, already live, already
You're
urgent.
right, Dan, about the right kind thing.
What Europe is teaching us in real time is that civilizations are not self-sustaining.
It's sort of like Venezuela's cranking up more oil now, but their type of oil there is too awful dirty, and it takes a lot of refining to use it.
They require defenders who are willing to be called names, who are willing to endure the slander, and who are willing to hold the line regardless.
Slander, always calling
History
names.
does not reward the hesitant. It rewards those who understood the moment and acted. One of the easiest ways to support this channel.
We won't worry about that. All right, here's a little humor for a few minutes here. I'm going to play a few of these AI clips here.
Do you know it's possible to power this using fuel?
Well, this isn't actually AI, but it's pretty good. So this guy's, I've seen this before, this type of stuff, but it's amazing how well it works. Now, if you take water and you break it down, it's hydrogen and oxygen, and it's both things are good fuels that we could use in the future.
Do you know it's possible to power this using fuel made from this?
You take water and you split it apart and you get two gases. Any guess what those two gases are? Oxygen and hydrogen.
And Hyundai is helping students in Bryan County apply how hydrogen fuel cell chemistry can drive clean energy. The fuel cell inside each of these cars use hydrogen to generate electricity, which powers an electric motor. Students develop real engineering and critical thinking skills, competing in a global challenge to develop a car that is not only fast, but efficient and clean. The only waste product's water. What was your experience like?
It's a really good experience just because it's a lot of hands-on.
For most of my life, I've actually worked on the opposite end of the spectrum. Cars and things in the garage with quite large V8s. This has really changed up how I view like the whole hybrid and new renewable energy sources.
It made me start thinking, Hyundai can do all this stuff huge, like actual cars. Then why can't I do that with this and potentially?
The oil industry won't like it once we switch over there, but I'm seeing stuff up on static electricity too. We can get a lot of energy from static electricity as well. Within the next 10 years, we could start using it, and maybe within 30 years, really using it.
Go and end up working at Hyundai and doing what I'm doing now.
It's hands-on STEM that's changing the way that they see energy. That's science for the win.
Yeah, I had part of my supper. I got to eat more of it later. It just always works out about that time, So. All right, what's your thoughts on that? I think that's somewhat of the future, that and static electricity. All right, here's a little humor.
Do you want me to look up a definition?
No, I want you to, you said he's a racist, so you must have a definition of racism in your mind. Tell me what that definition is.
Okay, so, I'm gonna make you guys wait on this.
Yeah, everyone can just scream racism. I don't know.
If you don't feel like going to work tomorrow, call them and tell them you got anal glaucoma. What's that? Anal glaucoma. I don't think I can see my ass coming into work today.
I don't know about that. Here's a little bit more Goldie, a little clip from her. I forgot. I got to explain this one. All right, so now what they're doing is trying to keep all the people in line because they can't beat America. So they're going around and just kind of shooting anyone they think might even. They're not most of them aren't driving in their or dressing in their regime closed. Some of them are, but a lot of them aren't. And they're just executing people.
ما آشغالی هم نگاه وایساد داره آشغالی رو جمع تناورم جمع کرد کوسکیش تناور نبرد داخل پشمون امیر بگی من اینو بگی کوسکیش عجب پیگیری اون یارو اشکاور زد نه با تیر ساچمه‌ای حروم لقمه اون گوشه باید وایسن بگیرن بزنن کوسکش مادر از ترسش می‌بینی چجوری داره میزنه بله تو گاهیدم مادر اونم اینجا اوضاع خیلی معروفه مشکیه آره صمد و نگاه با سیگارش میاد پایین بذار ببینم چی کار میکنه خداحافظ.
It's just executing people if you even suspected of it. Colorado, this is what you get when you have weak leadership.
A convicted child sex offender who ran away from Douglas County is now back in custody. Prosecutors say 45-year-old Jorge Campos ran off before his day in court on Friday. Our Dan Grossman joins us tonight.
And Dan, it was a team of media as well as viewers who saw this story and law enforcement who were all able to put Campos behind bars.
Yeah, so the only reason that Campos is back in custody is because someone saw our Denver area coverage of this case and then called in when they saw him at a bus stop in southeastern New Mexico. So that is when authorities showed up and they arrested Campos at an Allsup gas station. It is in a tiny town around 20 minutes from the Mexico border.
Does anyone know when Easter is? I know it's coming up soon.
Called this in. Just listen to Brockler's explanation of this 10-hour journey Campos made to get to Mexico when I spoke with him earlier today.
Douglas County Sheriff has a deputy embedded with the U.S. Marshal's office. And these men and women went nuts trying to track this guy down. I'm talking, they're generating warrants.
What's that, Mark? They're killing people for running car on water? From big corporation teaching these kids about this energy. I've heard stuff like that. I know that there's got to be a way of dividing it. I don't know if there's an efficient way of doing it, but once they figure that out, you think you could get a lot of miles out of it. Say it only gets 20 miles a gallon, you can just get more water, collect rainwater or something. They'll probably tax you for how much water you use then, or something real high. I don't know. They'll find a way.
2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. They're trying to track this guy down. And they were in a position when that Good Samaritan finally provided that tip. All that great effort might have turned into nothing except your coverage and a tipster combined with all those law enforcement efforts. They were in a position to swoop down and grab this guy up. It was tremendous.
The DA's office says Campos was in the U.S. illegally. We reached out to ICE and they confirmed that.
Oh, color me surprised.
Saying he's from Mexico.
All right, Supreme Court rules on the ballots. This is Karen Kennedy again, my friend, Karen Kennedy.
The Supreme Court is hearing oral arguments on the Mississippi mail-in ballots case, and that's been going on for a day or so now. And the oral arguments are very, very interesting. Justice Alito has to literally give Ketanji Brown Jackson a lesson in basic 3rd, 4th, 5th grade level English and the terms to America or like in America and why they mean something totally different. It's really weird that you're a grown ass older adult and you don't know where that lies with sentence structure and things of that sort in proper English, but we'll leave that alone for right now. What I do want to talk about is a proof that these mail-in ballots, all they're meant to do, like the president said, is pad the voter rolls, because y'all know Democrats, you freaking cheat. You got to cheat or you can't win. You can't. Your crank far leftist ideas does not rock with anybody in this country. And if it does, it's because you're either participating in it or you know somebody who's participating in it or you're making money from it. But none of this rocks with regular people. Now, we remember in 2020, in Detroit, remember at the counting election station where the windows were being boarded up. And
the other thing about the water versus the oil and gas type stuff, John, the government's going to lose tons of money because they make a lot on the fuel taxes and mileage taxes and all that kind of crap. They're not going to want that to happen for us to start using water.
Republican electors were not allowed in to help and oversee the vote count. Only Democrats were allowed in there. Republicans were just thrown out. I don't know how that ever got tolerated, but it happened. And it happened in more than one state, by the way. And Colorado.
And if you can use water too, you could start running these generators almost like on a propane base, but it would be on the hydrogen base and power your own homes and save your own money that way.
Colorado is a very interesting example when you talk about mail-in ballots. And there's people now we're finding in Iran who are getting ballots across the country, people who haven't lived here in years.
Well, a lot of them were saying it wasn't safe because it was very flammable and that kind of stuff at the time. That's what they tried to use that excuse.
Are getting ballots, and once they go out, they get counted, bro. And they don't count them for Republicans. But even when the pendulum does not shift in the direction of a Republican winning, I gotta call this shit out because it just proves the point that we got to get rid of this mail-in ballot system because it doesn't work for anybody. It's a cheating
military's the only one
system. The Democrats have used it for years and they want to keep it because they know they can't win elections.
They want to mail in also so the illegals can mail their ballots in instead of coming there because they're going to be afraid of ICE arresting them.
Perfect example, 2022, Fox 31 News Denver reported the result of District 3, Congressional District 3 in Colorado between Lauren Boebert and Adam Frisch, whatever, some rhino bullshit artist who's really a Democrat. They just shoved him in there to try to give people some image because that's a mostly red district. That, oh, you know, here, you want a Republican? Here, we'll shove you one. Here, take this white dude. We don't even know where he is. We just picked him up at Walmart. Here, take him. So he just came from out of nowhere. Nobody knew who the fuck he was.
Yeah, it runs a lot cleaner,
Lauren Boebert obviously had name recognition. They tried to, throw some scandal on her. You went to a theater and you were with a dude.
She is too.
She's a grown-ass woman. She had already been divorced. Stay out of her damn business. It ain't yours.
Her whole family, her husband, her son, and her were all in the military. Both her son and her husband are both gone. One of them had to do with the jab. I forget which one.
So that didn't work. She still got elected. But my point is not even all that. She won by over 500 votes.
Oh, did he?
Okay. But my point is.
Oh, yeah, the date thing, Dan. He got a call from her. There was an emergency, so they pushed it back till Friday. He's going on that date Friday, Dan.
The election occurred on the 4th of November, 2020. Adam Frisch and Lauren Boebert and the results of that congressional race were not called until the 13th of December of the same year of 2022. You heard me.
They were trying to make up enough votes.
Right. The election took place on the.
You ever notice when it happens, the Democrats always somehow find more votes somewhere?
4th of November. AP called the election in favor of Lauren Boebert on the 12th of December. The fuck? Election month? I remember that went on forever. I'm like, did they ever fucking decide who won this election? Like, I know they gonna shove the neocon in there, but it turns out, by some strange chance, Lauren Boebert won. Okay, but my point is, when we're talking about mail-in ballots, they even did a recall, bro, on this election. They even did a recall. This article was updated on the 1st of October of 2025. So y'all still counting ballots in October of 2025? Colorado is an absolute clown show when it comes to elections and voting. Let me just wrap this up, but I'm gonna remind you why this has gone
Friday's a better day to go so you can rest it up after the weekend.
to the Supreme Court, and why mail-in ballots need to be done away with, because it just passed the voter rolls for Democrats. That's their system, but they could not override they couldn't cheat enough. They couldn't bring in enough mail-in ballots to put Adam Frisch over the finish line. The election for the 3rd Congressional District in Colorado was the 4th of November, 2022. It was not called until a month later in December 13th of 2022. We got to stop mail-in ballots. It's stupid.
Voter ID as well, both of them. That's how they cheated in, most of the cheating was done by mail-in ballots in 2020. You know, it's really bad. Now, this, Colin, if you're out there, this is a British teenager. I guess he posted something on Facebook that someone from Islam didn't like. So they got the cops all to come and tackle him in the bathroom and take him out. Watch this.
Sit on, boys. Oh, chill out, man.
Here's the one yelling in the background. He had him arrested. See, they're in the bathroom. He was trying to hide from the cops in there.
Get up there, man. Get on, Isaac, son. Get up there. Get up there, Isaac, man, my lad. Get up. Hey, move that glass away from me now.
Taking 5 or 6 of them to hold down that teenager, handcuff him.
Move the gas. Get up there. Come on, chuggers.
He got arrested for a Facebook post. Unbelievable to me. I don't know. All right.
There are 2 general sides to the Iran war debate. One side is against it because, understandably, they're suffering from Bush-Cheney, Iraq, the endless war, PTSD. That's the Tucker Carlsons and the Joe Kents of the world. The other side is supportive of war in Iran because, to oversimplify it, this time is different. But how? We've heard that one before. This time is different is one of the worst arguments you can make in any debate. It truly is. But allow me to make the case. This picture
hopefully
is
she won't stay mad, Dan.
Powerful piece of evidence that this time really is different. There are other factors I've laid out before, like the fact that Trump is not a daddy-pleasing Bush, nor is he a money-hoarding Cheney bureaucrat. And we know Trump is willing to just walk away from the entire thing, unlike any president before him. But no. Let's zero in on this picture and why it is so astounding. This is a picture of a summit held yesterday in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The men in this picture are the foreign ministers of every consequential Arab Gulf nation state that defines the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Turkey, Pakistan, Jordan, Bahrain, Egypt, Kuwait, Lebanon, Syria, the list goes on. Never in the history of the entire world have these tribal nations ever agreed upon anything or not wanted to kill each other. But yesterday, these nations came together and they were in unanimous agreement that Iran is a threat, it must be condemned, it must be dealt with. Rewind the clock. Let's see where all these countries were in 2003 when W decided to move in on Saddam Hussein. Every
baseball starts today.
Single one of these countries, except Kuwait, opposed America for moving in on Iraq. They didn't support the move at all. They believed that Saddam Hussein was a needed strongman for a region that, without him, would descend into an Iranian proxy mess. And you know,
thank you, Carter. Carter brought in Saddam Hussein.
You know what? They were exactly right.
The Ayatollah, the whole war in Afghanistan, the first one with Russia and that created all these tribes getting together and made the Taliban.
We took out Saddam Hussein and Iraq fell to Iran. The Gulf states, for the most part, quietly, reluctantly, allowed America to use their bases in our forever war in Iraq. Kuwait hosted the bulk of our ground forces. Qatar provided CENTCOM with their Al Udeid air base. Bahrain hosted naval assets. And the UAE and the Saudis offered logistic support. No one provided offensive or combat troops. It was a deeply unpopular move, and the Gulf states back then did not agree with any of the underlying motivations. They worried that taking out Saddam Hussein would empower Shia, read Iranian, majorities and only fuel more jihad against the entire world, and it did. But this time around, it's different because, one, Trump's Abraham Accords has completely rewired the Middle East and forged alliances that never existed before. Once conflict began in Iran and Iran started lashing out at its neighbors, a sea change happened. On March 1st of this year, the Gulf states held an emergency ministerial meeting and issued a unified condemnation of Iran's heinous aggression. Saudi Arabia, the eldest brother of the Middle East, offered all its capabilities. The UAE joined and coordinated solidarity calls. We've never seen this before in this region. And that unity showed up in yesterday's summit. Every Gulf state in that picture issued a powerful joint statement. The Arab states have been sharing intelligence. They've even started talking about engaging in offensive measures against Iran. This is huge. This is the Trump doctrine at work. Make way for peace and prosperity. Let local leaders take the reins. This is exactly what Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Persian Empire, did to build the ancient world's largest empire. After conquering a region, he left existing local rulers, officials, and administrative structures in place under this very central idea. The idea that this was the most conducive to peace in a region following regime change. Trump laid the groundwork in his first term under the Abraham Accords. In this, his second term, he's seeing it through, and the Gulf states are stepping up into a new era. They finally agree on the importance of fighting the crazies in their own backyards, and now they're taking action. We've never had that before.
I don't know. Tend to agree with 99% of what she said there. I don't know. Here's some parents stepping up now in Texas to stop Islam from coming in there.
If I was a Muslim, I'd say thank you. Thank you for promoting Islam, for allowing the indoctrination of students and children. I would thank you for ignoring the many people here. They're just misinformed, right? But I'm not a Muslim. Here's why. Let me quote some verses from the Quran. Slay the unbeliever wherever you find them. Maim and crucify the infidels if they criticize Islam. Terrorize and behead those who believe in scriptures other than the Quran. Muslims must muster all weapons to terrorize the infidels. The unbelievers are stupid. Urge the Muslims to fight them. Whenever opportunity arises, kill the infidels wherever you catch them. Make war on infidels living in your neighborhood. Do not hanker for peace with infidels. Behead them when you catch them. Remind me what that kid just told you. I've just brought the receipts. Support for Islam is treason. Treason is defined in Article 3, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution as adhering to the enemies of the United States. Some of the people in this room have committed treason.
Dinner time, huh? Okay,
have you all
Tammy.
been bribed or blackmailed? If so, blink twice. Is your allegiance to America and the Constitution or to the terror of Islam? It's a rhetorical question. You've shown your cards. Do the right thing. Maybe just pretend you're hosting The Apprentice and tell a certain someone you're fired. Thank you.
Yeah. Well said, well said.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
more humor. Get ready for it. You kind of have to be watching if you're only in listen mode, but maybe you can get a lot from it if you're just listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your new captain speaking. Our beautiful ICE officers are now in charge of this airport. That's right. We are the captains now, bitches. To all my illegal aliens, we have a special plane just for you. We'll give you free tacos and cervezas, but we're getting you the hell out of our country.
So politically incorrect, I guarantee you. The left would have a meltdown right now.
Adios, amigos. If you're a crazy Democrat terrorist, please report to your nearest TSA checkpoint for a full cavity search. You'll probably enjoy that, believe me. Anyone wearing a MAGA hat will get to board first, and they will travel first class all the way.
Actually, I like to board last, actually, myself, to be honest, because you're sitting on the plane just doing nothing for a while. That's stuff they can make these days. All right, Tommy Robinson posted this. This is South Carolina. South Carolina. Welcome to the third world. South Carolina. We do this as a show of strength. Scary a little bit. All right, this is about the virus thing. This is Denmark.
Hi, I'm Scott O'Neill here in Medellin, Colombia today, and I'm at the world's biggest mosquito factory for the World Mosquito Program. We're making...
No, what are they going to put in these mosquitoes when they bite you? Is it going to be mRNA technology? Is it going to change your DNA? What are they doing?
In here, 30 million mosquitoes a week. Come have a look. We're doing it for a very serious reason. Cities like Medellin have suffered from diseases like dengue, Zika, chikungunya for decades, but not anymore. We've been able to bring the solution of Wolbachia mosquitoes to this city. When this bacteria called Wolbachia gets introduced into the mosquito, it stops their ability to transmit dengue. We release mosquitoes that have Wolbachia, and then they go and mate, and Wolbachia gets passed into the wild mosquito population.
Good one, John.
If we're going to control these diseases in all the tropical cities of the world, it's going to require a lot of mosquitoes. The mosquito life cycle starts with the egg, and in this room, we've got a lot of eggs. Each one of these strips, these tiny black dots, are up to 10,000 mosquito eggs. Across all of these strips, about 1.5 million dried eggs.
How are they changing these mosquitoes now? They're not just breeding them, they're changing them.
Eggs waiting to hatch.
What virus are they putting on the mosquitoes?
In this tray, we've got the newly hatched eggs. They're little larvae, so small you can hardly see them. They're going to sit in here for a few days and eat and get bigger until they look like these ones over here. They're starting to turn into pupae. We're wanting to do the next step of sorting the males from the females. We want to do that so we can manipulate the sex ratio in the cages to be more female than male. The bottom ones along here are the boys, and the ones at the top are the girls. They're bigger. From here, they're going into the adult cages. We have adults that we continuously grow in what we call our brood stock. And then over here, we have the mass-produced mosquitoes getting ready to give us the eggs to go out directly into the field. It's crazy how they sound. You might wonder, what do we feed all these mosquitoes here? Well, I can tell you, we've got the good stuff in here. On the top shelf, literally, we've got the blood. They love it. Once the mosquitoes are grown, they're ready to go out into the field.
Yeah, that one seems more mobile, the Apache helicopter there, John. All right, this is Betsy there. This is the
You have not heard the complete truth.
Attorney Generals. I'll start at the beginning because I was talking over it. Attorney General, she stands up to these leftists.
You have not heard the complete truth about this bill. Bill 397 tilts the scale in favor of criminals against families who need the protection of the law and, of course, law enforcement. Take a look at pages 14 to 16, which show that in fact criminals cannot be apprehended, not just in churches or in hospitals, but in a long list of areas, parades, assemblies, food pantries, shelters, any state or municipal building. This law protects criminals
I agree, Tammy.
at the expense of families. It tilts the scale entirely in favor of illegal immigrants who have serious
That was part of their plan.
Criminal records or criminal charges pending against them. Shame on the Democrats who stood up there and posed this bill as a way to
and a lot of them are pedophiles and rapists
protect
and
public
killers.
Safety. It endangers public safety. Thank you. Betsy McCoy, Greenwich resident. This bill is a sham. It will endanger our families and law enforcement.
It does. Absolutely does. But they're shameless. They just cram this stuff through, I tell you.
I've been laughing for 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, you got to see why she's laughing. This is good.
Straight. I'm going to show you a video, and I'm going to show you the comments.
Yeah, dude, I said I wanted a mullet, and this is what the barber gave me.
Little humor.
I don't think this is a mullet.
Look sick, my lord. Maybe they didn't hear you correctly. How many shillings did you pay for that cut? Did you specify which century you wanted the
That's okay. It happens on the twice posting.
Tomfoolery in the front, knavery in the back.
Double click.
Okay, Judge, you got He gave you the 1-2 buckle my shoe special. Go to the Renaissance Fair immediately. Got the little Debbie. Did you go to the barber 7 years ago? It's honestly not that bad. It's substantially worse. And you just river danced out of there without saying a word.
She's reading all the comments.
The bangs are a little short, but other than that, I hate it. What does your barber do for a living?
What's your barber do for a living?
You headed to your shift at the Lollipop Guild. It's going to be okay, Hansel.
I thought that was funny. I don't know. It's about time the mainstream media started reporting on Gavin Newsom, there's wife, Jen.
It is finally being reported on mainstream that Gavin Newsom's wife has been receiving millions from the state of California. The California Post is reporting Gavin Newsom takes advantage of disgusting loophole to funnel over $400 million to his wife's pet projects. So this was reported back in 2023 by Open the Books, and they were talking about the films that his wife produces that are now purchased by the state of California and public schools. You can pause to read that. Now, if you want to read the whole article, you can go to my link tree and you'll be able to grab the link there. Now, you can pause to read this, but this article is going to talk about Jennifer Newsom's project, which is called the Representation Project. Now, these films are basically for what she calls gender justice, and schools spend between $49 to $599 to screen these movies for kids. Now, the curriculum for her nonprofit impacts K through 12, so it's all ages are going to have some of these films shown in their classroom. Now, I want you to pause and read, especially that last part. Now, this is an image from one piece of the curriculum. I had to cut it because social media would flag the account. So the films included websites that children would go to because they're being told to visit these websites. So just to recap, Gavin Newsom and his wife hold a nonprofit. It's the wife's nonprofit, but he is funding this nonprofit through taxpayer dollars. Schools are purchasing these movies, videos with taxpayer dollars, and they are showing inappropriate, very inappropriate material to...
I know her. She's on the left. She was going to come on with me one time, but it never ended up happening. Her name's Denise.
Small children in public schools. And now public schools aren't doing very well. Families are pulling their kids, as they should. Homeschooling is the best decision that my husband and I ever made. But now they're losing money. And so instead of addressing these really important issues of education in California and why it's such a failure, because it is a failure. Kids are graduating illiterate. Okay, they're graduating with no life skills. So it's a question of, you know, are our children really a priority? Is our education really a priority or not? And now because schools are losing money, we have a bill in California that would mandate kindergarten. It's only first grade that's mandated, but now they're trying to get your babies at 5 years old because...
They want to program you earlier and start getting you transed already.
You know, they're losing money.
Well, that too. But they want to program you earlier. All right, this woman actually has some common sense here.
Where are you from?
So I'm originally from the West Midlands, but today I came from London.
And what made you decide to come out to Southampton today?
Well, I've been covering the protests, and I saw online that there was some intimidation from counter-protesters and some other locals that seemingly went unchecked, which I thought was evident of two-tier policing, especially since there is actually a counter-protest, Stand Up to Racism /Antifa gathering a few minutes up the road, and the police said that they are not looking into it or not even looking at it at all because they're technically not a protest, even though they are.
What do you think of Southampton Labour MPs and councillors in the area talking in local newspapers and media, labelling this protest as spreading racist, far-right and hateful ideology?
I don't know much about the actual specific councillors that are over here, as I said.
Yeah, I don't want anything more needles stuck into me than I have to have.
This is not my area, but this is a theme that we're seeing up and down the country. Protesters who are protesting for the closing down of these asylum hotels are being called far right and racist, when the majority of them, and I can tell you I've been to...
That's just so the illegals can stay in these hotels.
Most of them, majority of them are concerned locals, women, scared teenagers, a lot of them, and I think that they have every right to be angry. There's been multiple sexual harassment and assault charges and even rapes that have come out of these hotels, and that's before we even get to other petty crimes and other violent instances. So I think they have every right to be angry, and it's got nothing to do with race.
And just lastly, just down Portswood, the street just here, we saw some violence, not violence, but antagonization along the street. What do you say to people who have come here today with the intent of violence at this peaceful protest?
You're in the wrong place. If you've come here to cause trouble, well, you don't belong at any of these protests. These protests are symbolic in our fear for our country, our fear for our children's safety.
We're gonna get our country back.
Damn right. Our future children are depending on us to pave the way for them. I mean, they're not... The way that it is at the moment, our children are going to inherit a society where you can't say what you think. You're indoctrinated the moment you go into school. And the moment you say anything about actually having pride for your own heritage, you're immediately labelled racist. So, yeah, I think that it's the same theme that we're seeing up and down the country. And yeah, it's just wrong. People need to actually come here and evaluate for themselves instead of just going by what they see online.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
What was your name?
Emma.
That's happening in England. Actually, this is happening kind of in the whole Western world. It's happening.
No uterus, no opinion. Okay, so you have to be a biological female to have an opinion on abortion then. Whoa, you're trying to trap me. I'm not trapping you, I'm using your sentence. That's different. How? Because there are trans women that don't have uteruses and they get an opinion. Okay, so no uterus, no opinion, unless you agree with them. Stop oversimplifying it. You simplified it first. So let me get this straight. Men, no opinion. Women, opinion. Trans women, opinion. But you get to decide who counts. Yes.
White men that you don't get the opinion.
So it's not about uteruses.
White cis men. Whatever that is.
If we would just ban guns, there would be no more shootings. Interesting, because that sounds like if you ban all abortions, there will be no more abortions. That's not the same. Why not? Because banning abortions leads to unsafe abortions. Oh, so banning guns will lead to unsafe criminals. Wow, false equivalence. No, same logic, just different topic. Guns are the problem, and people aren't.
Yeah, she does a good job all the time. See her all the time. An illegal alien gunned down a college student in Chicago Park this week.
So here's what ABC reported. An 18-year-old college student was shot and killed while walking with her friends near Loyola University Chicago campus on Saturday. Because the media feed you BS. Because they don't want you to know what actually happened, which was this. Sheridan Gorman was a freshman at Loyola University. She was walking with her friends in a Chicago park on Saturday when Jose Medina walked up to her and shot her point blank in the back of the head while she tried to run away. Medina is a 25-year-old illegal alien from Venezuela who came into the United States unlawfully in 2023 under the Biden administration. And like millions of other illegal alien border crossers, he was turned loose into this country, and we were told we needed to help him. Welcome him. Pay for his hotel room and his prepaid credit card.
Yeah, it is a made-up word.
He was arrested for...
You're right. Cis is a BS. Just like a lot of the pronouns on the left.
For shoplifting in Chicago the very same year he crossed the border illegally. And this sanctuary city let him out of jail, turned him loose, and he never showed up for his court hearing. And now he's facing first-degree murder and weapons...
Democrat judge, I'm pretty sure.
...charges. And Sheridan Gorman, just like Laken Riley, is dead. And all of this happened just months after Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson banned ICE from operating in the very same city parks that Gorman was gunned down in. And it came just months after J.B. Pritzker went and lost his mind over two people who got themselves shot while assaulting ICE agents up in Minnesota. But he hasn't said a word about this innocent young woman who was murdered in his state by an illegal alien that he and Brandon Johnson and the entire Democrat Party have been bending over backwards to protect.
See, it was Democrats.
Because this is who the left cares about.
But they want their vote.
Not you, not Sheridan Gorman, not the countless victims of entirely preventable illegal alien crime. And at this...
They're not just talking about voting this year, next year, the year after, bringing up kids. It's generations of them voting for them.
At this point, it is abundantly clear that they would rather stack their voter decks than make sure that innocent college kids make it home alive.
Amen on that. All right, here's the best tourism ad for South Korea.
Koreans are catapulting pigs' heads into mosque construction sites. Why? Because a neighborhood simply does not want a mosque to be built in a fundamentally Christian area. So how are the people responding? They're setting up pork barbecues everywhere, inviting everybody to come, including Muslims. And they're saying,
John, you ought to like these.
Why the fuck?
You too, Kirk.
Would you bring Islam into Korea? Now, you may be thinking Koreans were just some racist, backwards village scumhole, but we're actually one of the highest IQ countries in the world, if not number one. And we have unequivocally said we will not import low IQ immigration. No fucking way. Muslim Pakistan has an average IQ of 79. Now, just to put that into perspective, people say that orangutans have an average IQ of around 80. The lowest IQ country in the world is South Sudan with an average IQ of 61, and Somalia having their IQs in the 60s also. It costs the Dutch taxpayer 600,000
surprised that it's Somalia and they're bringing them all in here.
euros for one Somali immigrant, and 82% of them don't work. Why the fuck would you import some of the dumbest people in the world who cause crime, danger to your family, children, and your way of life? It makes no bloody sense. These willfully blind liberals will always say, well, they can potentially become doctors and engineers, and even maybe astronauts, to which I say, the only fucking planet they'll be visiting is your anus. Stop suicidal empathy and have a pork barbecue. Koreans are catapulting pigs' heads. Makes no bloody sense. These will, and even maybe astronauts, is your anus.
Right there, look at that. That's a trans dude taking the same side. Free Gaza for trans women. Look at that dude. Oh, totally make me sick. All right, Antifa found guilty in Texas. Good job, Texas. There was a cell in Antifa cell, a big one. They got convicted in Texas. Good thing.
This all played out in the late evening of July 4th outside the Prairieland Detention Center in Alvarado. Police officers responded to a call about a suspicious person outside the center. When they arrived, they saw someone who appeared to have a gun. One of the Alvarado officers tried to talk to that person, and at that point, several other people opened fire on the officer, who was hit in the neck. He was treated at a local hospital and has since been released. Officers arrested a number of people at the scene. A motive for the attack.
Do you see what they're doing in Virginia? She's outlawing a lot of guns and equipment and repair replacement parts for your gun and everything in there. And then, but that's making it all legal for the people who are elected officials.
Is still being investigated, but the Department of Homeland Security said a group of more than a dozen people had slashed tires of federal vehicles and damaged security cameras at the ICE facility. There was also another attack on an ICE facility in Portland, Oregon, Friday night.
I'm in on it, EM, on the barbecue thing. All right, I'm going to end with this one. It's about a 10-minute video here. And it's on my normal topic, kind of, about Islam. He's going to talk about what's in the Quran.
People hear Sharia law and they don't maybe understand. So this is called Sharia law for non-Muslims. This gentleman, not a Christian, Dr. Bill Warner, he's a PhD. Here's what Sharia law looks like under Sharia. There is no freedom of religion, no freedom of speech, no freedom of thought, no freedom of artistic expression, no freedom of press. There is no equality of people. A non-Muslim, a kafir, is never equal to a Muslim. There's no equal protection under Sharia for different classes of people. No equal rights for women. Women can be beaten. A non-Muslim can not bear arms. There's no democracy, since democracy means that a non-Muslim is equal to a Muslim. Our Constitution is a man-made document of ignorance that must submit to Sharia. Non-Muslims are dhimmis, second-class subject. All governments must be ruled by Sharia. Unlike common law, Sharia is not interpretive, nor can it be changed. There is no golden rule. That's pretty sweeping. Yeah. And you came to this country to perform cultural jihad. Tell us what that is. And
culture jihad is it moves into the nation. It's just like a cancer, and it moves and starts subjugating different cell group of the body. And every time the immune system goes by it, what happened? The cancer cell take the second cell, healthy cell, and it start subjugating other cells until it starts subjugating the organs, the blood, the spine, the whatso have you, and destroy that person. And after the cancer have destroyed itself, it destroyed that person, killed him, then it turn against itself and start fighting itself because it has nothing to fight, and kill itself within itself. So what we're looking at today is that deception is called Sharia. Sharia is the sword of Islam, is a scimitar. That's why you see the sword on the flags and whatso have you, because what is the sword? It's what dictate what Allah gave them to establish in that nation. So what is Sharia? It's called Sirat al-Mustaqim, which is the narrow path for the Muslims. Sharia is made out of 3 components. And we need to understand how scary Sharia is. First component, the second component, and the cornerstone component. This is called Sirah, which is biography of Muhammad. Muhammad never said anything here but what he did. This one from Allah. Allah, the God of Islam. And what it is called Quran, which is the reading of Allah, what he gave. And here it's called Hadith. And that is...
Where's Gregory? He seems to understand this kind of stuff well.
What Muhammad commanded everybody to do. This one, these two together, become 82%
it might come down to a
Islam.
Kind of world war.
While this one is only 14% of Islam. So when they bring a group of Sharia law leaders, they refer to it as Shura. What is Shura? It's a group of imams that they're called that these are the people who will do what need to be done and adjudicate. And so therefore, they see what Allah said and they see what Muhammad said. But if Muhammad did it, then this is the way it's supposed to go. This one here is the cornerstone of Islam. So what is it all about? Jihad. What is jihad? Is a holy war. What is holy war? Allah said, without jihad, you could not please Allah. In Christianity, it says, without faith, you could not please God. So every Muslim must participate in jihad. So when they come here to the United States of America, and we need to understand this, so now we saw all these elements that I said there, and it's called the Constitution. Sharia. What is Sharia? Is the Constitution of Islam. Now, the American Constitution are at clash with each other.
Absolutely.
But this one here, they
100% clash.
have been able to infiltrate Germany.
In Sharia law, you don't have freedom of speech either.
England, France, and many other Western nations.
And it was all by design.
And when this constitution is put in here, this constitution
and it was been made easier ever since Carter when he screwed everything up over there.
could not do anything anymore.
And we got refugees.
And their job is to paralyze the American Constitution. Why? Because in here, if America allowed the Muslim to practice their constitution, then a Muslim can kill his wife if he need to. It's legal.
Yeah, in some of those Sharia courts, Colin, you have to have 5 men to testify that a woman was raped. Her testimony counts at 0. In some places, it's only two women to equal one man's things, but some you have to have 5 men to testify that a woman was raped in order for them to get any justice.
In the Quran, Allah said, "Ar-rijalu qawwamun 'ala an-nisa," meaning man owns women. A woman must be owned by a man. A woman is a second citizen. She is not the first citizen. And now
The 2 things we have to defend against is socialism and Islam. That's the 2 biggest things going after our country now.
She needed to be treated as such. This is what Sharia bring. Then, in a Sharia court, if a Christian and a Muslim fought together and they injured each other, in the court of Islam, the Muslim is the right one. Doesn't matter what the other one was, it right or wrong. In this one here, the Constitution subjugate that person and must kill him. So it changes everything. Many people, they tell you that they are the same Constitution. We believe in the same thing. Now, everything in Islam is based on deception. So why deception? It's important to understand that Allah, the God of Islam, had 99 names. One of his highest name, his name is the Great Deceiver. The Quran says, وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ, meaning the Jews and the Christians have deceived, meaning their religion is deception. But Allah came to deceive them specifically. But he said to himself, he said, but I am the greatest deceiver.
Hey, Pat.
So nobody, and so what's the name of that deity? It's called Baal.
For some reason, my Rumble thing's cut off, but it's let me still stream it out. It's not playing on Rumble. Weird.
God judged Israel because they were worshiping Baal with Jehovah God Almighty. So what does Baal mean? It means Akbar. So when a Muslim are trying to go jihad, they say Allah Akbar. Where is that in the Bible? Isaiah 14 through 13 through 17. This is where God is speaking about Islam, and that is a political spirit. Only 14% of Islam is religion. The rest of it is a political system, a government system. So when it enter a city or enter a place, it come to destroy and demolish that place. Why Texas? Why Colorado? Why they want to open a center? Any place that the Christian are strong, the Muslim are trying to overcome Christianity in that place. So therefore they bring about Islamization into that city itself. So Colorado Spring is under war. America is under holy war, under jihad. Why? Because America is an infidel nation, meaning unbelievers. Allah said to kill the unbelievers. That's a commandment.
Chemtrails, yeah.
That's in Surah number 7 and Surah number 9. So why did God judge Israel? God judged Israel because they were bringing Jehovah, beside Jehovah, they bring in Baal. And what did God do? He was displeased with them. Now, when we allow Islamization of the United States of America and we say we worship the same God, we do the same thing, we're allowing Baal to be equal to God himself in the house. The word of God says in the book of Isaiah, he said, I see the Lord seated on a throne, highly exalted, and the train of his robe filled the temple with his glory. This temple that you are sitting in is under the robe of the living God. Jesus Christ is all about you. And today God is trying to really teach us the story about, Islam. I love my Muslim family. I want the Muslim to choose, if they come to the United States of America, to choose the Constitution or Sharia. If they choose Sharia, they can go back home. But if they choose this freedom, then they need to honor.
They can all go back home, if you ask me.
This nation and the law of this nation.
All right, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed it. God bless everyone. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow at 5 Eastern time. God bless. Bye-bye. Take care. Somehow my Rumble thing's not working right, but all right. Bye-bye.